Good evening, and welcome to the Public Alternatives Meeting, Bonifay focused, for the State Road 79 Project Development and Environment Study. The southern terminus of the project is I-10, and the northern terminus is the Florida-Alabama state line. In addition, this segment of State Road 79 has been designated as an emerging connector on the strategic intermodal system. In 2003, Florida's governor and legislature created Florida's Strategic Intermodal System, SIS, a high-priority network of transportation facilities critical to Florida's economic competitiveness and quality of life. The SIS comprises the state's largest and most strategic transportation facilities, including major air, space, water, rail, and highway facilities. The SIS facilities are the primary means for moving people and freight between Florida's diverse regions, as well as between Florida and other states and nations. The SIS is Florida's highest statewide priority for transportation capacity improvements. This graphic identifies the major phases that a project such as State Road 79 will undergo. It begins with the planning phase, where candidate projects are identified as well as potential funding options. The Project Development and Environment Study, also known as a PD&E study, follows and is currently underway. The PD&E study is preceded by preliminary and final design activities, which will further refine the project. Once right-of-way acquisition is completed, the project will be ready for construction. Let us examine the PD&E study phase. Major elements of the PD&E process include collecting and evaluating existing conditions, forecasting the future traffic demands, developing potential improvements or alternatives, evaluating the potential environmental and community effects associated with each alternative, and concluding with a recommendation. In addition, a public involvement program is incorporated throughout the PD&E study. Taking a closer look at our 15-mile corridor reveals that State Road 79 serves as a north-south corridor connecting the major east-west routes of US 98, I-10, and US 90 to Alabama. Outside the city of Bonifay, the existing facility is primarily a rural roadway with two 12-foot lanes and 5-foot outside paved shoulders. Within the city, the existing facility is primarily an urban roadway with two 12-foot lanes, curb and gutter, left turn lanes, and sidewalks. Since State Road 79 is an emerging SIS connector, a hurricane evacuation route, and with the anticipated growth of the Panhandle, the study will investigate widening the existing facility. This will be examined throughout the project limits, one-way pairs within Bonifay, a potential bypass around the city of Bonifay. In addition, an analysis of major intersections will be conducted to evaluate potential capacity needs and to improve operations. Our team has identified a number of considerations that are specific to the State Road 79 improvement project. They include the social and recreation facilities along the corridor and within Bonifay, such as the Memorial Field. Other considerations include places of worship. Minimizing potential impacts to them is also important. In addition to the social and community considerations, there are existing features that must be examined. For example, we must consider potential historic sites. Some locations have already been determined to be historic sites by the State Preservation Office. Other locations must go through an evaluation process, which has begun and will continue over the next few months. The evaluation documentation includes photos of State Road 79, such as the one on the left from the early 1900s. The right shows that same area today. This site was once referred to as the Lindsay Building, back in 1912, and as it looks today. And one more, of the Baptist Church along State Road 79, in 1922, and as it looks today. Another area that will be reviewed is compliance with the Americans with Disability Act, ADA. Title II of this act requires that if the state alters a street, it must contain curb ramps or sloped area that allow access for those with disabilities. we will be looking at the facilities and modifications needed to meet the ADA standards. The development, consideration, and adoption of an appropriate access management plan is an integral part of this study. The primary purpose of access management is improving mobility and safety. Access management features that will be incorporated into the project include a median and separate turn lanes that allows a turning vehicle to move out of the through traffic lane. In addition, major focus items of the access management plan will be the frequency of side street connections, signalized intersections, and median openings, as well as the type of median opening. Both full and directional median openings will be utilized. To provide a clearer picture, this image depicts a full median opening which allows all of the turns common to a four-way intersection. It also conveys the 18 major conflict points associated with this type of median opening. Here we have a directional median opening. It has only 4 major conflict points, and a total of 12 conflict points exist. Due to the nature of the corridor, several proposed typical sections were developed. The first typical section is referred to as the 4-lane divided urban. The roadway elements include 2 travel lanes in each direction, separated by a grassed median. Curb and gutter are located adjacent to the inside and outside edge of pavement. Bicycle and pedestrian accommodations are also provided. The second typical section is referred to as the one-way pair urban. The roadway elements include 2 travel lanes in one direction and curb and gutter adjacent to the inside and outside edge of pavement. Again, bicycle and pedestrian accommodations are provided. The third typical section is referred to as the 4-lane divided rural. It is similar to the 4-lane divided urban relative to the number of lanes and a grass median. However, that median has been widened to 40 feet. In addition, the curb and gutter is replaced by shoulders with bicycles utilizing the paved portion of the outside shoulder. All 3 typical sections meet the strategic intermodal system criteria. Tonight's meeting is primarily focused on the Bonifay area. However, information for the entire corridor is available for review. Due to the characteristics of the corridor and the potential alternatives under consideration, the corridor has been divided into 2 segments. The Bonifay area, which is from I-10 to south of County Road 177, is referred to as the South segment. From south of County Road 177 to the Alabama state line is referred to as the North segment. Let's take a look at the South segment and potential alternatives under consideration. As previously mentioned, the study will investigate widening the existing facility. Within the Bonifay area, the 4-lane divided urban typical section was utilized. 3 types of widening were examined: a centered widening, a widening to the west where all impacts will occur, and a widening to the east where all impacts will occur. The difference in the right-of-way is depicted in this graphic. The yellow shape, identified by the arrow, represents the footprint associated with the centered widening. The red shape represents the additional right-of-way that would be needed if all of the improvements occurred to the west. The dark blue shape represents the additional right-of-way that would be needed if all of the improvements occurred to the east. Next is the west one-way pair. The one-way pair urban typical section was applied. The 2 southbound lanes will utilize J. Harvey Etheridge and a portion of Hamlin Street. The 2 corresponding northbound lanes will be State Road 79. The one-way pair typical section was also applied to the east one-way pair. This alternative utilizes Oklahoma Street as the 2 northbound lanes. State Road 79 would be the corresponding southbound direction. Next is the west bypass. The 4-lane divided rural typical section was employed. One of the reasons the West Bypass is located along Range Line Street is based upon comments received by the public during the public kickoff meeting held March 24th of this year. The 4-lane divided rural typical section was also employed for the East Bypass alternative. This alternative is located along a platted roadway right-of-way that is not currently utilized. It is adjacent to the Bonifay wastewater treatment facility and the Holmes County School District buildings. Let's examine the traffic associated with the project. The black numbers represent the existing annual average daily traffic, known as AADT. The dark blue numbers represent the forecasted 2045 AADT if the improvements were to occur along State Road 79. First, looking at the existing traffic, between I-10 and Iowa Avenue, the value is 11,000. From Iowa Avenue to County Road 173, it becomes 9,300. North of County Road 173, it is 6,000. North of County Road 177, the traffic ranges from 3,500 to 3,000. Now, looking at the forecasted 2045 values for improvements along State Road 79, between I-10 and Iowa Avenue, the value is 18,000. From Iowa Avenue to County Road 173, the traffic is 15,000. North of County Road 173, it becomes 11,000. North of County Road 177, it ranges from 6,100 to 5,300. Focusing on the Bonifay area, let's look at the effects of a one-way pair on the forecasted traffic. The gold is the forecasted traffic along State Road 79, if one of the one-way pair options is utilized. The pink and the light blue represent the one-way pair options. With the utilization of a one-way pair, the forecasted 2045 traffic along State Road 79 has changed. From the point that the one-way pair begins to Iowa Avenue, the traffic along State Road 79 is now 8,000, while another 8,000 is located on the corresponding one-way pair. From Iowa Avenue to the one-way pair tie-in, the State Road 79 traffic is 6,500, with another 6,500 on the corresponding one-way pair. Now, the effects of a bypass on the forecasted traffic. The gold is the forecasted traffic along State Road 79 if one of the bypasses is utilized. The purple and light green represent the bypass traffic. In combination with a bypass, the forecasted 2045 daily traffic along State Road 79 is approximately 4,400 from the location that the bypass begins to County Road 173. North of County Road 173 to the location where the bypass ties in, the State Road 79 traffic is 2,400. The traffic along the bypass remains at 8,400. Throughout the study process, the department is conducting a comprehensive public outreach program. As previously mentioned, tonight's public alternatives meeting will be Bonifay focused. In addition, a public alternatives meeting that will be focused on the overall project is planned for early 2017. Notification will be sent at the appropriate time. Information for the entire corridor will be available at all public meetings. The alternatives in the north segment focus along existing State Road 79. Again, the yellow shape represents the footprint associated with the centered widening. The red shape represents the additional right-of-way that would be needed if all of the improvements occurred to the west. The dark blue shape represents the additional right-of-way that would be needed if all of the improvements occurred to the east. Additional project information is available at www.nwflroads.com. Click on Future Projects and select State Road 79 under Holmes County. Your comments are welcomed and appreciated. We encourage you to view the displays in the adjoining room and openly discuss the project with our representatives. Do not hesitate to ask questions. Thank you for attending this evening's public meeting.